everyone, and welcome to another episode of Broadway Speaks Out. I'm your host, Martin Gould Cummings. Today, our guest is a very popular artist in New York City. She has been seen in the Public Theater's production of Hair, in the John Patrick Shanley production of Romantic Poetry. She will be seen in the upcoming production of Sister Act in the West End, and for all of you television watchers, she has been seen on All My Children as Susan Lucci's producer. So here, please welcome Patina Miller. Hi, Patina. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
All right, so you guys, this is Patina Miller. Many of you probably saw her in Hair and on All My Children. So let's talk a little bit about that experience first, All My Children, because I think that's what you're known for nationally right now. So how did you get that gig, and what is it like to work with Susan Lucci, who is an icon in the television realm?
Well, All My Children was actually my first gig I got professionally coming to New York.
What a gig.
I left, yeah. It was kind of crazy. It was a weird week, but I had been given 2 weeks. The director of the show that I did right after college, he let me stay in his apartment, and he said, I'm going to give you can stay in my apartment for 2 weeks, and you can find a job, whatever. And so it was my last day at his apartment, and I had been on auditions, and Sister Act was my first audition, actually, that I got at the end of the week, and they told me not to leave because I was going to leave and do another show. And they said I got the part. So, this sassy producer, Pam, on All My Children.
That's a dream come true. Right out of college, your first job.
Yes.
Working with Susan Lucci. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So success started right away after school, which is...
I guess, yeah. I guess you can
very
say that.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
And
very fortunate.
So you went on to do All My Children, and then you worked on a... did you get the Sister Act workshop right away, or did you go on to work with Billy Porter right after that?
Billy Porter. Billy Porter was actually my first, I guess you can say, professional job right out of school. It was at the Vassar, New York Stage and Film at Vassar. And during my showcase, my senior year, when I was out in L.A., I did this cabaret, Upright Cabaret in L.A., and I sang this song called Sister, and they put it on MySpace. Oh, wow. And Billy had been looking for this girl to play the part that he had written for his musical that he was directing, and he had asked one of my friends who went to college with me, do you know anybody? Is there a girl? I need this girl for this part. And so my friend said, of course I know a girl for this part. Her name is Patina. Check on MySpace. The song that she's doing, Sister. So he literally looked at MySpace. He didn't even know who I was. I had met him once before at school or whatnot, because he went to my school. He was a legend, basically, at my school, especially for the blacks at my school. He was like... Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a really big influence on us at our school.
So he, from a website, MySpace, cast you in a show. And it was a Sondheim show, wasn't it?
He did, yeah. I didn't audition. It was a Sondheim show. It was his he's been a big fan of Sondheim anyway, and so this was his first show that he was breaking out and doing this different thing with the Sondheim music. So it was really great to do that. And so he called me, and he said, hey, this is Billy. Like Billy does. This is Billy. I heard you on this MySpace page, and do you want to do this part? And I said, well, of course, I would love to do this part.
You can't say no.
No, because it was my first job, and he was someone I looked up to and who I'd followed and everything. So I went out to Vassar and I did the show, and he taught me so much about myself as a performer and really opened me up to a lot of things. And the day that I left his show, I booked Sister Act.
Oh, and you did the workshops for that in Atlanta, is that correct?
No, that was full-on production.
Oh, wow. And why did I think Atlanta? We'll edit that out.
No, we did do Atlanta.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. No, we did Pasadena first. We did 5 months in Pasadena, and then we did 3 months in Atlanta. So it was a joint production between the Pasadena Playhouse and the Alliance Theater.
Okay.
So that was my first job right after Billy.
And now you're going to be doing Sister Act in London, which is the full-scale West End production, hopefully someday coming to Broadway. And this is what's really going to make you like a breakout star. And we all know you in New York from Hair at the Public Theater, which ran this past summer.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you from that. Everybody knows you from your John Patrick Shanley show, Romantic Poetry, that you just did at City Center. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you have all this theater work under your belt and a fan base from this, and your hit song from a show you did, Random Black Girl, which I know is a YouTube sensation.
I didn't really know it was going to be this big thing.
It's a huge YouTube sensation. People love it. I go to auditions all the time, and people are talking about the song that they see on YouTube.
Because it's so true. You know, that song, it was written for me when I was at school. And when they first brought the song to me, they said, well, there's this song that we really want you to sing and been thinking about. And can you just take a listen to it? And there were some lyrics in there that I didn't like. So I said, well, you know, if I'm going to sing the song.
It needs to be this.
It needs to be this.
All right.
You know, and so it was, they were amazing. And I didn't really even know at the time that I was performing it, that it would become this thing that people actually identified with. And I get so many people who contact me through MySpace and Facebook saying, that's my story. Oh my God, you know, that is. And I said, you know, it is. It's all of our stories. You know, there are a lot of Black female actresses out there who feel the same way that this song is. So it's nice that, and even anyone. It's not just a Black girl thing. You know what I mean? But
it's become such a hit, and it's so inspirational that you can inspire through your art and your song and your voice. You can inspire people. So the New York world knows you for playing Dion in the very critically acclaimed production of Hair in Central Park.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about that experience? You worked with the original creators, Galt McDermott and Jim Rado, and an amazing cast that had so many Broadway personalities in it. So what was that experience like?
You know, I have to say it was a life-changing experience. What I learned from those people and what I'm going to take with me is just so much. You know, I learned a lot about myself and a lot about other people, and I've never been so close to as many people as I have doing this piece. It opened me up to so many things. I feel like I can do anything after doing Hair and doing that piece in the park and touching all of those people with my friends on stage every night. We never got tired of that show. It was an experience that I think I will live with for the rest of my life, you know. And it is going to Broadway, and I'm really sad that I'm not going to be able to do it, but this summer in the park was something that no one can ever take away from me, and I got to be under the stars with my friends and do this amazing thing, you know, things that people needed to hear at that time, and touching so many people, you know, who lived through that, to be able to do that under the stars and under all of the mess and the crickets and the rain, you know, laying in the rain, getting naked in the rain and doing all this stuff was an experience. It was life-changing. That's one of the reasons that I feel like I can let it go, and that I'm okay with, as sad as it is, not doing it again, because it gave me so much hope and so much to look forward to, and I want to do so many things, and you know, that I can let it go, and they're going to be wonderful. They're going to be wonderful. Of course, I wish that I were able to make my Broadway debut and sing Aquarius again, you know, or sing Let the Sunshine In, but I've done it, and I'm okay. I'm okay. And my heart is at rest.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you will definitely be missed in that production, and hopefully someday during the revival after Sister Act, you'll be able to come back to it. But I just know that audiences in New York were really felt your performance. You opened the show to roaring applause when you walked on stage. I saw the show 6 times.
It was crazy.
Every time you came on stage, you were the first one on stage. You were the first one to open your mouth and speak these words that led a generation through riots and through war, and that I think was very relevant in the summer when we were through the process of electing a new president, Barack Obama, and through the process of going through a war such as very similar to the Vietnam War, and you got to bring that to people, and that's very special. It's really great.
It was so funny, the people who would come up to me at the end of the show, oh my God, you know, I lived through this. This is what, you know, crying to me, and they're like, you touched me, and that just, I got emotional, you know, because I love the piece, and I can understand why people would be so attached to it, but the fact that I can do it 41 years later, and people still feel the same way.
It's still an impact.
And to be able to, like, have that connection with them, you know, even though I'm so young, and I don't really know what that was, but we're sort of living, you know, we were living that same thing, you know, it was nice to be able to do that, and do that for them, so.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy I did that.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to come back to it someday, and if not, you definitely left an imprint on New York theater because of the work you did in that production.
New York Library, check it out.
Lincoln Center.